Good morning, my name is Juan José Cadena Arroyo, and this is my video about the treatment of information. First of all, we have the personal information that the university has about me. We know that the university has my full name, my document number, my email, my phone number, my birth date, my age, my gender, my city of residence, my physical address, my marital status, my father's full name, my mother's full name, my COVID-19 vaccine information, my stratum, my physical disability information, my mental disability information, my illness information, the presence of children, which means if I had or I don't have children, my healthcare information, and my past academic information, like my past studies and all that stuff. Then we have the university's privacy policy, which can be seen at the fall in the PDF here down on the bottom right corner. And in summary, we have that the university's privacy policy has these main principles, which are that data treatment is based on a regulation exposed on the law 1581 of 2012, that the data treatment must have a valid and legitimate purpose, data treatment can only be done with the previous and explicit consent of the data subject, treated data must be trustful, exact, complete, and truthful. The data subject can always get access to the data that the university has about them. The treated data cannot be on the internet or any massive distribution media unless it is technically controllable. Treated data will be protected with the needed technical, human, and administrative measures. And all the persons that participate in the data treatment process are obligated to ensure the confidentiality of the treated data. These are the main principles that the university privacy policy has. It's a pretty solid, a pretty good privacy policy example with a lot of things that ensure to get the law 1581 of 2012 to be completely covered, and also it makes other measures needed in order to protect the personal data that the universities store about people. Some additions in the case of this privacy policy I'd like to do is the adding the technological measures to the principle that establishes the security and confidentiality of the treated data, adding the technological measures as well as the technical and human measures that the university uses in order to protect the data, adding example cases where a situation is technically controllable in order to know when the university is allowed to distribute the treated data around the internet or massive communication channels. This in order to the data subject to know when is a good scenario where the university can use their data, and adding the right to the data subject to inquire and get an answer about the purposes for which the university uses her treated data, for the data subject to know why the data is used and for what purposes it is used. And some changes I'll make to this privacy policy is changing the data consulting policy from once to twice a month for data verification and integrity purposes, because in the privacy policy the subject can consult their data once a month, and I will change it to twice in order to have a better data verification and integrity around the university's database. Changing the claim policy for the requests that are not directed to the university and informing the data subject instead of redirecting the request, because the university privacy policy states that when they get a claim, a request that is not directed to them, they redirect to the subject that the request is directed to. So instead of that, I will just send it back to the data subject in order to resend it to the correct destiny of the request, in order to avoid any legal problems that the university can get into after resending the request. And changing the data treatment policy to include the verification and elimination of the treated data stored in backups and data preservation methods that the university uses, in order to make the respective processes when it is requested by the data subject. So this is just the inclusion of the processes in order to the elimination and changing information request to do it, as well as for the data that the university has stored in that moment, as well as any backup or data preservation method that the university uses in order to preserve the integrity of the data. I hope you all like my presentation. Thank you all for your attention.